How the heck are you guys? I'm Fastidious, and look at that. We're doing a cheeky little tier list today, something I set up myself, and I want to put the 10 limited exclusive heroes in Watcher of Realms into tiers. So you can see the tiers I've created. OP, you need them, great, good, but those are going to be our 4 tiers. I'm not going to put the units in any particular order. What I will actually do is start filling in the tier list going through the heroes in the order they were released. So going from Captain Reeve to Falsia to Gwendalyn to Lust to Dalia to Anora to Kagiri to Sung Wukong to Diao-Chan to Moridan. You might notice there is an 11th limited exclusive hero that is not included here. The most recent one at the time of filming. Right now, it's December 17th, 2025. Last month, we got Lady Mina. However, Lady Mina is not like a 100% real exclusive limited because she's extra exclusive since her exclusive limited banner is tied behind or hidden behind or gated behind an exclusive event as well. So we need to have the exclusive Dracula's Castle limited event live for her exclusive limited banner to be live. Kind of confusing, but for that reason, we have excluded her here. The other reason is that officially it is announced and it is confirmed that on Christmas Eve, we are getting the time-limited summoning event Exclusive Heroes Return. And this is going to be the exclusive Lucky Pick. And if we go to the other in-game event teaser announcement, you can see they do make an explicit note here that commanders can select one of the previous event exclusive heroes, excluding Lady Mina, for time-limited rate-up and guaranteed within 200 summons. So this pool of previous event exclusive heroes includes all the limited exclusive heroes we've had that were guaranteed heroes. So back in the day, that was 250 summons. Lately, it has been 200 summons. It's including that pool of 11 minus Lady Mina, and that makes it 10. Now, before we jump into the tier list, there's one thing I have to talk about. Well, actually, 2 things. The first thing is going to be, please subscribe to the channel. We're getting so close to 50,000 subscribers. This video was heavily requested on Monday of this week, so we're releasing it now. If you appreciate it, please subscribe. It goes such a long way. We really want to get to 50K before the new year. However, the other thing I want to talk about right before we hop in, it won't take more than a minute, don't worry, is going to be the date here. You can see officially they've announced the banner will run from Christmas Eve through December 28th. If we look at that, it's going to go from Wednesday until Sunday. Pretty cool stuff. They keep making banners end on Sunday now, not Monday, so we're missing out on opportunities to get extra resources at the start of the next week, but so be it. My issue here is that if you didn't catch it, I made a video, I believe 2 days ago at this point, where I was very confident this weekend we would get the return of the exclusive heroes and we would get the exclusive Lucky Pick. The reason for that was the calendar. If we look at the calendar over here, you can see we have a spiritual altar. And originally, for almost 36 hours, this calendar read that the spiritual altar would be on Thursday. And I said exclusive banners are always going to be on Thursday unless it's a holiday, occasionally a Wednesday. But the only banners that start early, not on a Friday or a Saturday, if there is no holiday, and obviously December 18th, December 19th, these are not holidays, the only banners that would start on Thursday, December 18th, when originally the spiritual altar was supposed to start, and we wouldn't get a summoning event like a spiritual altar if we weren't also getting banners, I said it had to be the exclusive Lucky Pick. And I said the leaks must be wrong, guys, because everyone keeps posting everywhere that the leaks were saying Christmas. And I said, I don't listen to leaks. I try to ignore leaks because Moonton tells us to. And I'm trying to be a good little soldier because what else am I supposed to do? We're not allowed to post about it, so I ignore it. That's why I say don't bother sending it to me. It's not worth it. And I thought this was a cool moment because the leaks were wrong. It was going to come early. But wouldn't you know it, 36 hours later, when I woke up on Monday morning, they had moved it to Friday. And I've messaged Moonton back and forth about this, not because it's an issue, but because they moved it and they didn't announce it. And they just do this all the time. They make little mistakes that anyone at a company could, more than I would like, but hey, it happens, but then they don't address it. They just pretend nothing happened. I don't want to share the whole correspondence. I don't think that would be appropriate, but I wanted to share this line. So I reached out and I said, it's not a problem that you messed up the day in the calendar for the spiritual altar, but what you should do is let us know that you changed it because of an issue. And they said, we checked. It may be a display issue caused by network fluctuations. I was on many accounts that day and a half. I heard from many people. I was sent DMs with screenshots. It said this for everyone. This is not a unique network fluctuation. It's fine. It happens. But they just pretend stuff doesn't happen, and then they just hang players out to dry. Or in this case, they hang a content creator out to dry. So I do apologize that I was so confident it would be coming on Thursday, but it was based on information that became fake news. But fake news, they will not own up to. So Moonton, don't do this. Also, Moonton, if you want to make a point that leaks aren't right, stop changing things to make every single leak right. This was a moment where I was like, oh, see, we all need to pay attention to what's going on in the game because the leaks aren't always right. They adjusted this, and now every single leak is confirmed right because they announced all the other dates in the other posts on Monday. Anyway, let's go to the tier list, baby. It won't be that long. Don't worry.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Let's go. So we're going to kick it off with Reeve, and we'll work our way to Moridan. He was the first release, I believe, September, maybe end of August. I'm going to say September 2023. Yeah, end of August, beginning of September 2023. We have Reeve. Reeve is going to go in the great tier. I still think he's really unique with his slow mechanic. He's a cool unit in his faction. I do think he leaves a little to be desired when it comes to being a tank and also an attack-based DPS, but there's a lot in the kit, a ton of crowd control with stuns and slows. He has good awakenings. He actually can deal a lot of AoE damage in certain content. He's a cool unit. He's great. I would not say you need him, but he is great. I feel like on and off every few months, someone finds a really unique use for him in GVG as well, but he's never like top meta, or at least not for a very, very long time. Next up, I believe this was around Halloween. Actually, it was the Shadow in the Castle event, the first one they ever did in 2023. So this was probably end of October 2023. We got Falsia, and Falsia is going to go in good, but, and for the units in good, but, I'm going to explain what the but is. The good is, hey, they are good. You couldn't say Falsia is a bad hero, but the but is she good enough? She was buffed. Before that, I would have had another tier at this point where she would have been like mid, right? That would have been the tier. So after her buff many months ago, towards the start of 2025, she is definitely good. But is she that good? I mean, she's a single target fighter. She's got this weird mechanic with dealing both damage, magic, and physical. More and more as the game gets older and progresses, they keep pushing us towards content where you just need magic and just need physical. So this hybrid thing doesn't really work. The true damage is cool, but again, I don't think it's so amazing. She's very good for progression. So if you haven't used her in APOC 2, for example, in Semra, and you have a younger account and you have her, she is very good, especially after her buff. But all in all, she's good, but not that good, right? She's in a cool faction, but the whole thing is just, she's pretty fine. Actually, dual faction, but you get what I'm saying. Let's go to Gwendalyn now. This might shock people, but she is going in need them. Gwendalyn was right before Christmas 2023. You can see how at this point we're like, oh my God, we're going to get a new exclusive hero every month. Obviously, that is not the case. We have only gotten 4 exclusive heroes. Actually, let me take that back. We've only gotten 3 exclusive heroes in all of 2025, and one of those 3 was Lady Mina, who is like a half exclusive. She's a super exclusive. So for that reason, I don't even know if we can count her, but it's just been Diao-Chan, Moridan, and Lady Mina, whereas at one point in 2023, between like August, September, and then before Christmas, we got 3. But maybe they were just launching the idea. But Gwendalyn just got a huge buff about a week ago. And wow, she is really, really, really good. I still want to make a ton of content with her. She is going to be at least off meta, if not meta, for new Spellbane teams, the physical damage mode of Matrix. Her shielding is amazing. Her heals are actually something now. She has that good rage regen. She synergizes incredibly well in this new Northerner meta they're trying to push. So if this North Throne meta continues to become more and more relevant, especially once Rivenhald arrives, Gwendalyn will only be more and more relevant. She's the best shielder in the game at this point, and she's a lot more consistent. It's a very strong buff. I'm saying you need her because she is so unique, right? She is going to be the missing piece to a lot of things, especially to people that don't pick up Rivenhold, which, let's be honest, is going to be a ton of people. So I do think she is a need unit. She's someone you want to have on your roster. You're going to regret not having her on your roster. Now we've got Lust. Lust is great. She's no better, no worse. There's no real but here. You know, she's not as good as she used to be, but that's mostly from power creep and stuff like that. The introduction of units like Kagiri and Sung Wukong and Neza and so on and so on. She is in a very loaded faction, but she still holds her own, even where she falls short as a DPS, and she definitely does when compared to the super, super high-end units. She does have a unique way to give rage to Nightmare units, so for that reason, I think she's great. But yeah, she's so underused right now in the community, and that's because everyone has these two guys that are coming up, if not a lot more top tier single target kind of units. Now we've got Dalia. Dalia's good, but she did recently get buffed, but there are so many good AoE mages. She's not bringing enough to the table yet. The biggest but for her, the thing holding her back is, well, I guess she could be stronger. She's strong, but she's not super strong. But the biggest thing I would say is her range is really unique. She has this long line, this single row of tiles, but they still don't really have that many maps that let you utilize that. We did have some old GVG maps that she could shine in. She had some moments in AoE Arena, nothing too crazy. She is really good in Gear Raid 1 all the way to stage 23 and 24, but that's not enough. She's just good. No one should be selecting Dalia, in my opinion, unless you're just going for the collection, which is fine. Now we have got Anora, and I am putting Anora in the need them tier. Not at the tippy top in OP, but Anora brings a ton to the table. Very, very strong dual faction for her AoE kit with Cultist and Esotericist as her factions. She has a very, very good bond skill with Ymmerit, both the bond skill she gives to him and the bond skill he gives to her. She'll never be at full strength without him. So I'd say if you were somehow confident you'd never get Ymmerit, she actually would just be in the great tier. She kind of needs that to be elevated, but if you have it, she is really, really, really strong. She's got play in GVG on defense, and then when it comes to PvE modes, she's just really, really good at AoE. I will say there probably was a moment she could have been in the OP tier, and there probably is an argument now she could be in the great tier, not the need them tier, but I think she brings so much to the table, and then the bond skill with Ymmerit does push her up to need them. She hits like a truck. She's got a lot in that kit. She's got good awakenings, but with the amount of good new AoE units we've been getting, she's probably not as uniquely powerful as she felt maybe 8 months ago or something. Now we've got Kagiri, Wukong, and Diao Chan, and we've got all three of our OP units. Wouldn't you look at that? So, Kagiri, he is very, very solid at A0, but the damage is very underwhelming. He kind of feels like decent damage and great utility. The second you get him to A3, he becomes the best single target boss damage in the game, at least for physical DPS, arguably overall. And then once he becomes A5, he becomes incredibly consistent on top of all of that, and he is just goated. He is usable in so much content. You can even kind of use him as an AoE for when he does his different parries and his different counters. He's got a ton in the kit. He is the most reliant on awakenings of any DPS in this entire game. That's even including like Ingrid getting to A3. It's a huge investment going for him. You have to pull a ton or use a ton of unpolished soulstones. You will need him at a minimum of A3, but he lives up to the hype. His DPS is something else. Frankly, they definitely miscoded his A3. They let everything stack up permanently once you've done a couple very easy triggers one time each. There's no way they intended that. The damage is off the chain. Now we've got Diao Chan. Diao Chan is the best unit on this list, and in my opinion, it's not even that close. She is the best buffer in the game, full stop. Once you get her A1, and you will get her A1, because if you don't have her, you select her now, and then from the Christmas Frostfall events, we're getting a free Unpolished Soulstone, so that goes straight into Diao Chan. Once you have her in A1, you will use her in almost every single piece of content. The only place would be like GVG defense, you wouldn't use her, but she is phenomenal in all three arena modes, and she is the best inspiration unit for all PvE. She is the most used, most dominant unit in the game. She's the best non-lord in the game. Well, it depends if you're valuing support and DPS. Her and Valara are the two best non-lord heroes in the game. Diao Chain is an absolute must. Her A1 is an absolute must, but everyone can get it immediately because she is the best use of an unpolished soulstone in the game. Just get her A1. The A2, it's not that good. The A3 is a little bit good, but not needed. It goes on and on like that. The A1 is required. Get that and be happy. Sun Wukong, actually out of the box at A0, much better than Kagiri as a DPS. It's actually not even close. Very, very strong in that respect. He does take it to another level, though, at A3, and then another level yet at A5. Sun Wukong has a beast of a kit. He is overall the best burst single target melee physical DPS in the game. I know that sounded like a lot of qualifiers, but that is such an important role, and he is stupid good at it. He is very, very dominant in single target arena. He is usable in tons of PvE content, particularly bosses. Some people even use him on GVG defense. He is very, 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 very dominant. In my opinion, gun to my head, when balancing everything, I do think he's better than Kagiri. Yes, if you had an A5 Kagiri and an A5 Wukong, on the whole, Kagiri's better. But the amount of investment Kagiri takes, whereas Sun Wukong will change your account right out of the box, I actually think I slightly lean Wukong. I find him slightly more versatile. But it's a fun, argument we could have forever. These two guys are ridiculous. I will do a full ranking video where I put everyone in order and I give notes on every single awakening. Right here, we're just putting them into tiers. Finally, we have got Moridan, and Moridan is going to go and need them. Absolutely need them. The bond skill he gives Valara, and Valara gives him. Very good, very important. Valara is the best non-lord DPS in the game, arguably the best DPS in the game, period. You're going to want her bond skill. For that reason, you need Moridan. Though, there's more to this guy. The kit is pretty wacky. He basically has a DPS mode and a support mode. The rage regen he gives in his support mode is crazy. Once you get him to A3, it's happening all the time, basically, even when he's in the DPS mode. There's so much in that kit. He's got amazing displacement. He's very, very strong as a tactician. He's got bursts from his ultimate. He's got consistently high damage. He's in two really important factions with Nightmare and Esotericist. He can be the glue to a lot of comps. He'll take Abyss runs officially past 60k, and then in Malric, which is becoming more and more and more and more important, in the Malric's halls, he is so good there. Moridan is really, really usable, and for people with newer accounts, he actually is a very strong progression unit. So these 6 you definitely need on your roster. So just to give some advice, if you have a copy of 5 of these, but not the 6th, in my opinion, without any exception, you go for the 6th. So I think some of those people, you're going to have these 5, but you don't have Gwendalyn. You're going to see in my upcoming videos, I will advise people to go for Gwendalyn. It's all up to you in the end. However, the unit's in great and good. This is really just if you're a collector or if you already have the top 6 with very, very good awakenings. But personally, I would make sure I have one of each of these 6. And once you do, hunt the appropriate awakening for your account for one of these 6. So when I do my rankings video and I explain all the awakenings, we'll go over all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, like the video, share it with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. That's the tier list.
Fastidious.